So it's important to recognize that even these perfect families, or even the best family, does have these negative aspects, and it seems that it's almost degrading or counter productive, that this picture perfect family of the Cosby Show doesn't accept the inadequacies of everyday life, and this is almost more damaging than the communicating the picture of a happy family. Now, why? Because it produces, in a sense, false hope, or a false sense of reality, of social reality, that this is how people can be. There can be a family dynamic without any type of major problem or argument or negativity that needs to be resolved and requires some sort of compromise. So, moving on now, we have this racial issue. Now, obviously, we see the Cosby Show as an African American family in America, in contemporary America, we say, who do not seem to face or have to deal with the same everyday problems most exclusive or identifiable to the majority or average black or African American family. Now, the first issues is looking at both Claire and Cliff Huxtable. Well, we have a married couple who are both a doctor and a lawyer. They are both graduates from a fictional black university, all black college, all black university, where they hold some sort of. I believe this is also the same university that Denise attends in the spin-off A Different World. Now. First of all, not only just in terms of race, but the demographic alone of university graduates represents a minority of people in America. So the first issue we have is this universal, not even specific to race, this idea of the American dream. And I would just phrase it as the American dream, but this dream, this capitalist dream, this dream of modernity, okay, this dream of success. Well, there's this falsity in the idea that everyone can make it. I will parallel this with the example, the power of one. I find it's a very misleading concept in terms of environmentalism. Well, if we have this notion of the power of one, where one person can make a difference if they turn off their lights when they don't need to be used, and so on and so forth. Well, the power of one exists as a viable concept on the premise that everyone does it. So the very notion of the power of one is hinged on the fact that it is the power of many. So it's a contradictory notion in itself. Okay? So this, again, this notion of the American dream is the fact that everyone can make it. Well, in fact, again, in the similar way, it's this kind of, it's negating itself. It's everyone can make it only because it's possible for a few. So we have this resisting kind of definition now. It's very problematic, and it's misleading as well. And we see that ultimately these can be misleading notions, especially in terms of race, or race identity and race relations. Now, we see first of all that there is an attempt at overcoming difficulties of racism by almost ignoring it, but not ignoring racism altogether. It is referred to in the Cosby Show, but ignoring it as a topical issue, as everyone seems quite literally colorless. That the no association is compromised because of ethnicity. We can see this, of course, Theo's close friend, as played by Adam Sandler, of course, a Caucasian. I believe he plays an Italian in this episode. So the very notion of this racial harmony is attempted to be communicated in the Cosby Show. However, there is an underlying or an apparent difficulty with the presentation of race relation in the Cosby Show. Now, what we see is an attempt at doing away with this racial issue, or almost leaving the Cosby Show as a colorless episode. But this seems to imply that racism is not a current issue or an issue relevant alongside the other topical and socially relevant issues that does get addressed in the Cosby Show. For example, the prom. But what we do see is a preservation of certain racial issues. The success of Cliff and Claire is premised on a fictional black university. Now, even this notion of being graduates and self-made people, but the very notion of underlying the Cosby Show is a certain segregation, that we see the need, first of all, for a independent black university. Now, I know that this has other implications in American culture, but at least the dichotomy is there. Okay, an all-black university, as opposed to what would the possibility of an interracial, or you know what I mean? If again it was to be colorless, if it is an attempt at being a colorless television program, it puts emphasis at least on color in certain respects. Not only that, what we do see is Theo, his friend Cockroach, and I can't remember the character's name, but Adam Sandler's character, all arrive with their girlfriends. What we also notice is that the race relations are preserved. Adam Sandler has a white girlfriend, the two black individuals have black girlfriends. Now, without having to advocate or justify why this may be, what we can see is that there is an underlying segregation being preserved. And it's this that becomes ultimately negative. So, in trying to conclude this idea, what we are looking for and what we are seeing or identifying in the Cosby Show is a conflict of our reading of normative and social acceptability. So what we see in the what you'll take from the lecture on violence is that what we can see in this apparent norm, that underlying what we accept as to be normative or socially acceptable, or politically correct or whatever, what we see, or what allows us to accept this as normal or as politically correct, itself carries some sort of violence or yes, I won't say negativity, but ultimately violence. There is a ripping, a capturing here that can produce some sort of difficulty or, and I guess in this case, negative outcome in the reading of these social phenomena. That the Cosby Show, with refusing to address certain black issues or preserving